All right, you two, settle down. We got to get through this. All right. Places, people. Places. Everybody, this is Dan and Tami back at Classic Touch Staging, the warehouse. And I just had a couple questions to ask her, just kind of to get to know what she's about. And also to, a lot of people selling a business won't do this.
Exactly.
I mean, you're being very transparent, and I appreciate that. And it helps people understand that they're buying something, I think, that's got some depth.
Absolutely.
This isn't just a front. You've been in business a long time. You've done really well. And so I've got some questions I put together, and I wanted to just go over that and maybe an announcement more so that I met Tami in 2014. That was a long time ago.
Yep.
And I was going through my office, and I was asking somebody, I've got a house I need to stage. And they said, this gal come through, my manager, he goes, give her a call. And so from that point on, I gave Tami a call. We met out at the house. She sized it up, gave me a bid, and the rest is history.
Exactly.
Does that sound about right?
That's right. Now
Yeah.
you just became my brother from another mother.
That's right. That's right.
Over the
So
years.
we've been, just
We've been a team.
And kind of close like family, really.
Yeah.
So I appreciate actually the honor to be able to present your business, especially as you've built it so successfully and it's doing extremely well.
Yeah, I think when you and I first started, I was out of my home.
Yeah, you were.
And
your husband was grunting stuff at night to get over there. So you guys were, you know, from humble beginnings.
From very humble beginnings.
Yes.
I think I had a Mazda Zoom car that I actually was packing and bringing stuff to.
Yes,
so
you did.
I was pretty much living out of my family room. I think in the living room I'd converted into basically whatever little pieces of things that I had stored. So it is kind of a humble beginning. I had kind of found myself in a transition at that point in my life, and my dad had said to me, you know, hey, you know, you're now at this point, you need to kind of decide what you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
And he said, what do you think you want to do? And I have, you know, obviously my background was interior design, and so I had been kind of like, you know, already had that always in the background, and had done little side jobs here and there, and I had a little business that was going, but then I kind of put that on the back burners. I had my family and whatever. Yeah. And then it was 2008, I think, when the market crashed, and I had already at that point was thinking about staging, was starting to hear it, but really the market was not a good time to start a business. And
that's interesting.
And that, so actually then I kind of put it on the back burner, and then obviously back about 2013 found myself in a different position in life and needing to make a career decision to be able to support myself. And so that's when my dad said, what do you want to do, girl? The sky's the limit. What do you want to do? And I said, I really want to stage. I really want to I want to do the staging.
And that's one of my questions I had for you today was, what inspired you to become a stager? I mean, this is it's not something that's on the list when you go through your academics for college.
I think it's just a natural thing that I've always done. I mean, if you ask my friends over the years, I mean, you could come to my house, you know, 1 month, and it could be 2 months later, and it might be something completely different. Yeah. And they used to always. That's the truth. I'll
tell you, I've been there. I know it's true.
Yeah. They always used to laugh. They'd say, "I swear, you know, I think I've painted. My walls have been every color." They said, "I'm sure you pretty much have shrunk your walls by 1/4 of an inch and they're throughout your house because of all the amounts of paint that I have put on those walls."
Probably. You lost some square footage.
Yeah, so it's always been there, that passion to be able to design and to create and things. And so I just, you know, staging was new to the industry back then, and so it was kind of something that kind of, you know, intrigued me, and I knew that I had the ability to be able to do it, just obviously at that time when the market wasn't good to do it. So then that's where we got to 2013-ish. My dad basically said, what do you want to do? And he fronted me $10,000 and said, go make it happen.
Go get her done.
And so I remember going and shopping, and he took me out and shopped and got, you know, some basic things, and started to kind of get it all organized. And even my first job, I laugh now because I'm like, My very first job, I remember, I didn't have a truck. I didn't have really anything to move. So my dad, owning a industrial engineering company, had a big box truck that had the cloth sides.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Already set
Yeah,
up?
like a 50-footer.
Oh, that's a little big.
Yeah.
For 4 items.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
my
yeah,
goodness.
so he actually had a couple of his coworkers work for me that day. And they drove the truck and loaded it up with these cloth
Whoa, that's a
sides.
big truck.
Yeah, and needless to say, that was the only house I ever did like that. I never did that
Wow.
again.
Yeah, that probably.
Yeah. So
Nice.
it just kind of evolved from there.
Yeah. So, where did you get trained to be a stager?
I didn't. It was just a natural thing that just kind of, I've always kind of had that gift of, I've obviously went to interior design, so I have some basic background in it, but it was more about just a style and a feeling, and just, it's my creativity. It's just kind of who I am, and I think that it's just evolves over time.
That's what's been fun working with you over the years, is because, as a real estate agent that is presenting a house in the best light we can, and to share that creative part that you did, and normally teaming up with agents of sort of like mind. I mean, we're not stagers, but we rely on your professionalism as a guide, and it's been fun to marry that together. And you've always been a proponent of, this is I get to express my
I am.
design side, my art side.
And it's very, so I know like there's a lot of other stagers that will use the same packages, right? And they will move them from home to home. That
That's
isn't
not
me.
you. No.
That is not me. As a matter of
No.
fact, I very rarely ever do that. And then the reason why is because then I've lost the passion for what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right? So to me, it is the creativity of the pulling and the executing and creating, again, that whole story. But then taking that again and then mixing it all up with some other pieces and creating a completely different look.
Yeah.
And that's the fun part. That's the magic.
Yeah, that is the magic.
Yeah.
It's fun to see that all transpire, and at the end of the day, just so you're walking out and going, and I'm like, wow,
Exactly.
it's beautiful in here. It's magic.
Yeah. And it's funny because I have a lot of people ask me, well, how do you, when you start to pull for something, where do you get the inspiration? And it's like, for me, a lot of times it's, one, I like to walk the home if I physically can, obviously. And when I do, it's kind of like, I don't know, the house kind of speaks to me. I can kind of get a feeling already when I've left that walkthrough. I already know what I'm going to do. I already have a picture of what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
An overall kind of conceptual idea. But then I can come here to the warehouse, and it will be funny because it might be the slightest little thing that I see that will just evolve it, right?
and
it
it
could
just brings
be
it
a
to life.
picture. It could be that a kitchen. It could be just the simplest little things, that whatever it was that spoke to me in that house, and then it just kind of evolves from that.
The big question everybody wants to know is, why do you want to sell?
Well, I think that I've kind of, sometimes you have to make that change. And I kind of have reached that point in my life where I'm ready to kind of conquer a new goal and a new thing. I feel like I've this has served me really well, but I feel like I can serve St. George really well too in some other areas and some other
So
aspirations.
you're moving
I
out of
want.
the area.
Yeah.
And also provides opportunity to kind of go recreate
Yep.
maybe something like this, maybe not, but at this point, I mean, you're going out on top. You've built this company is riding the wave. It's making great money.
Yeah.
And
it's hard
it's
to believe.
perfect to hand off. I mean, it's organized, it's structured, and it's like, wow, you built this from very humble beginnings to what
I
it is
made my
now.
dad proud.
Yes, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
You definitely have. And so, new beginnings, new area, and just being able to take the next chapter.
Right. And I will
And it-
stay within my realm there. I
Sure.
still want to do, obviously, we'll probably do some form of staging as well as
Sure.
some furniture and boutique type stuff there to kind of settle life a little bit down for me.
Great. So another thing is, when a new owner buys this place, how long will they have access to you and your consulting and your expertise to be part of the new?
You know what? My heart's always here.
Right.
So no matter who buys this, they've always got a friend to call.
Yeah.
They've always got somebody to call because this is a part of me. It's still, no matter whoever takes it, it's still got a little bit of me in it. I ain't leaving.
So you have a lot of clients that also, you have that database, they'll follow to the new.
Yes.
I've done some research, and there's not a lot of staging companies, folks. Very few. So.
And honestly, that's one of my hardest things to leave here in this area is I've built amazing relationships with my realtors.
You have.
I really, truly, they're not just realtors to me. They're my friends. They're my confidants. I will call them up, when you're on that road and you're on your way home, and sometimes it's just to shoot the breeze and say, hi, how you doing, or whatever. And, because I genuinely care about each and every one of them, honestly.
No, you do, and I've appreciated that, and you've always spoke highly of all the agents you work with, and I think they're all super smart because they use you for staging, so that, we're all like-minded.
It's a win-win, right?
Someone, right? Yeah, so. But that's important, and I
do. I love it because they will, they do respect me, and they do, and that they value me. I get a call, and I love it because they'll call and ask me how things are going in the market, because they also know that we as stagers, we have our pulse on the market.
You're a good gauge,
and so we're a team. Everybody's a team. You know what I mean? And you kind of are keeping everybody informed on where things are going, or what pocket of areas are, really hot and selling right now. What areas are kind of maybe a little bit slower, might take a little bit more, to get them to move and things.
And I've appreciated that over the time, is that you kind of are almost one of the lead barometers of how things are starting to shape up. So that's been appreciated. Well, Tami, I thank you for your time and spending that and being so transparent, which speaks volumes of your character and the type of business somebody would be buying. And we have other things coming up with Tami. We're going to have some other on-site tours of before, during, and after staging that we'll be presenting here shortly. So
some Airbnb. We do
Airbnbs,
Airbnbs.
that's right. And anything else that you think will be helpful for the new owners as they entertain the possibility of buying such a well-run business.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah, thank you, Tami.
Thanks.
Rock star.